Mr. David Chikwaza, I want you to get us started, especially with the ideas and arguments of the book. But I just want you to at least start by telling us. I understand, Professor David, look, Mr. David Chikwaza is doing some very interesting research into issues of climate change, food security, and agriculture. So before we get to start, I just want you to briefly talk about the research that you have been doing, and you can get us started with the questions of the book.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chikumbu. 3 years and now almost 4 years, I have been focusing on agricultural climate change adaptation, focusing on the politics of knowledge. So I have been focusing on the role of indigenous knowledge systems and the role of Western scientific knowledge when it comes to informing how smallholder farmers, which are rural indigenous farmers, are adapting to climate change. So my study brings it focuses on three major areas. The first one is climate change adaptation, the second one is agriculture, and the third one are the lenses that are used to analyze or to look at that, which is decoloniality, a very interesting theoretical framework to look at those issues. So yeah, basically that's what I've been doing, and it's been really a great journey. Yeah.
That's pretty good, Mr. David, and I'm glad that I'm able to have a conversation with people that have similar research areas, related research areas. I'm from African history, so I care about anything about Africa, regardless of discipline or what. And one thing we love about the book is that it has an interdisciplinary appeal, so it has the capacity to reach a wider audience. So, Mr. David, you can get us started with the core questions.
Lovely. Professor David, look, what are the core ideas of your book, and what do you consider to be its central argument?
The core idea of the book is that we should not normalize hunger in Africa. 280 million Africans classified by the FAO as being undernourished. 340 million Africans lack stable food access, which means chronic food insecurity. These two numbers refer to respectively a fifth and a quarter of the African population. And I think that these are staggering numbers, which should exercise all of us. It's not something that should be normalized or taken for granted. I think it is something that we should look into the causes why this is happening, and what should be done about it. So basically, this is what motivated the book. Of course, it's not the first time that these issues are being looked at. I've already mentioned the FAO, where these figures are from. The FAO looks into these issues. The Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa also analyzes issues around African agriculture and food security, and other entities such as the International Food Policy Research Institute, etc. So there's a lot of work going on food security in Africa, and of course the SDGs Goal 2 is about food security. But I think what makes this book different is that while the FAO and others may focus on one or the other of different themes related to food security at any one time, in this book we purposely brought three main themes together. We wanted to look at the trade implications of food insecurity in Africa. We wanted to look at the agricultural policies themselves, the agricultural setting, so if you like, the public policy aspects. And then thirdly, we wanted to understand how climate change is impacting agricultural production. So we brought those three aspects together, which you don't normally find in any one single publication. As I've said,
Yes.
other publications deal with one or the other of these themes. So to the best of our knowledge, this is the first time these three themes are being brought together with in-depth analysis of the issues in each of the themes. When I say in-depth analysis, this is a book that is driven mainly by data. We were very careful to use as much data as we could find, reliable data, mainly from FAO sources, but from a variety of other sources as well, in order to establish in an empirical way what the issues are and how they could be addressed.
Interesting. And maybe what do you consider to be the central argument then, having introduced us to the core ideas? What is the central argument?
The central argument is that the issue is not a production problem. As such, it's not the fault of the smallholder farmers. We're very careful to establish that. But that the three aspects that come together from the three areas of research that explain why you have food insecurity. So the central argument is basically that we have issues to resolve around trade. That's the first part. On the agricultural and related public policies, there are serious shortcomings, especially in regard to the implementation of the agricultural compacts that African members of the African Union have, and that's the Comprehensive African Development Agricultural Program, the CADAP. And then thirdly, that yes, climate is impacting agricultural production, and we're seeing this manifest itself in many ways, including extreme weather events and so on. So for each of these three, we have data and models that we built to elaborate on the basic argument. So you'll find in chapter 2 of the book, we painted a social trade model that shows that the African economies are performing below the production possibility frontier through the way that they trade. They're mainly trading in commodities. This is and we as I say, we build the model, we show the data. This kind of trade is not adding value to these processes. It also means that, as I said, economies are operating below par. But it impacts on job creation, it impacts on technological development, it impacts on economic transformation and so on. So with the impact on job creation, this is one of the channels that feeds back into the food insecurity, because through the trade, we also show that there is enough food in the world. There is no question about that, although that's because of subsidies in other places. We could talk about that. But there is enough food in the world. The problem is Africans, many Africans, these numbers that I've just indicated, are too poor, don't have the incomes to buy the food that's available. That is the problem.
Yes.
The question of poverty is a question of income. And so that's one of the issues that we clearly establish in the book.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that comprehensive answer, Professor David. Look, over to you, Professor Chikumbu.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important, and it's very significant for our student community to get this quick overview of what the core ideas and what the central argument of the book is. So thank you very much for that. This is one of our favorite segments of the show. Viewers and listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. We have Professor David Luke, and we have a new publication from the London School of Economics Press. This book is entitled How Africa Eats, Trade Food Security and Climate Risks. A copy of this book can be accessed on the link that I'm going to paste right in the description panel on the upload for this video. I do have to emphasize this again and again. You know what, Mr. David, okay, or the Davids, the Professor Davids, and the Mr. Davids, you say it's the names of kings. I have to remind you that, you know, one of the things we want our people to do is to click the link that is in the description panel so that they get to access a copy of this book.